Welcome everyone to the 20 Rock podcast. And I am your host, Ricky, and with me, unfortunately, no one's with me today. LJ is gone. He left. Have no idea where he is. And if you're watching the video portion of this podcast, which you can do at youtube.com/20rock productions, you'll notice it's just be my lonesome. I also have to apologize about my attire. It's really hot out here, so forgive me. But anyway, moving on. If you guys enjoy the show and want to support the show, make sure you give us a follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor.fm. Anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast, we are most likely in it. Also, support our Instagram. Everything's going to be in the description if you're watching the video version on YouTube. And if you're watching it on Spotify, it's also going to be in the description as well. Just give it a like, 5 stars wherever you are. It helps us a lot. So, it's just going to be me today. Again, not a bad thing. I'll try to make you guys feel a little bit different this evening, this morning. No matter what time you're listening to this episode, it's going to be a slow burner episode. We're just going to take it easy. We're going to calm down. It's not going to be as exciting. I know when LJ is around and I got other guests around, it becomes a little chaotic. But not this time. This time it's going to be me, and I'm going to take you on a ride with me. So, what has been happening? It's summertime. It's kind of hot. School's out. Everyone's out. Here where I live in the Northeast, it's been kind of raining a lot, so it's not really good, not gonna lie to you guys. See, I'm an outdoor type of guy. I like to go out, do stuff like biking, hiking, and shit like that. And it kind of sucks, not gonna lie to you folks. It kind of sucks. It's just not being able to do that makes me very upset because I'm not the type of guy that stays inside all the time, especially during the summertime. Like when you live in the Northeast and you have 4 seasons, you kind of tend to appreciate and enjoy summer times way more than someone that, let's say, lives in like California. Like over there it's just sunshine all the time, or someone that lives in Miami. So over here it's been kind of rough, not gonna lie. Hopefully it gets better. So for me, that's kind of what I've been up to. Not a whole lot. At this point I would have asked LJ what he's doing, but since he has disappeared, we'll we'll skip that for now. So we'll go right in. We'll dive right into the content that you guys like, and that's Reddit. And we have a few fun Reddits. And since it's by myself, so I'm by myself this time, I'm gonna make these Reddits a little bit longer. Okay, these are gonna be long Reddits. It's gonna be a good podcast. We're gonna talk about a few things, what I think mostly. So it's up close and personal, just how I like it. So, what about relationship advice? That is a Reddit I've been on, a subreddit I've been on for the longest, just looking for stuff. And I believe I found the one. And I'm going to share it with you guys. It's a long story, but bear with me. I'm going to skip a few parts. I'm not going to say the whole thing because it's long as shit. Of course, like everything on Reddit. So I got my trusty phone over here. And I'm going to start reading it. So, actually, no, my mistake is not from relationships. It's from Ask Men advice. So I guess someone needs advice and they're asking men. You know how that goes sometimes. So we'll see. Let me get a swig of this water real quick. It's going to be a long episode. So that's pretty good right there. All right. So let's begin. This Reddit's called I Need Advice on How to Proceed in My Relationship with My Boyfriend. So I'm going to assume it's a female and her boyfriend and her have problems, so she needs advice. We'll see what we can do to help her out. Alright, so I'm going to read some of this stuff. Not everything, like I said, so just bear with me. My boyfriend and I have been together for over a year. At the beginning, he did most of the pursuing. He would ask me to hang out all the time. I want to have sleepovers. He would text me all the time and make me feel the most loved person in the world. Always starts like that. So, this is nothing new. At the beginning, the guy is always nice. The guy is never like the piece of shit that he will become later on. So, like, pretty standard stuff right here. After about eight-ish month, he's eight-ish. Okay, so 8 months after, I guess, he started becoming distant. Ooh, here we go. The plot thickens. He does not really text me unless I text him first. In fact, we gone a whole day without talking. Adding my perspective, he just stopped trying. I got into a really bad car accident and all he did was ask if I was okay, but would not come to check on me because he was having a bad day. By the way, I got into the accident on the way to hang out with him to cheer him up. Oh, that's fucked up. Oh, God. We had a really bad fight where I considered breaking up with him a couple of months after that. I told him how I did not think that he liked me and that he was no longer attracted to me. She's saying that they're rarely intimate. So I guess they're distant. He ain't trying. He ain't fucking her. It's also not have to be fucking, just cuddling, be unaffectionate. That's also a huge part of relationships as well. He sat there emotionless while I bawled my eyes out. Oh, God. I asked him why he was so stoic, and he said, "What is there for me to be sad about?" I responded, I guess she, "Well, I'm sitting here crying because I don't feel loved by you." He just shrugged and said he will try to be more affectionate and caring. For a little bit he was, but now he has returned to his whole habits. Now, ladies, you gotta understand this. If a guy ain't really feeling it and he says he's gonna change, he will do so for a few weeks or days, and then he'll be back on that bullshit again. It always goes like that. It always happens. I don't know. Something about us, man, we just don't. I don't know. We're just fucking assholes like that. Not all. Some. Let's see. So she starts elaborating more a little bit on her trouble. So we're gonna read that too. We only ever hang out if I initiate it, and it has to be on certain days. I feel anxious trying to ask him to hang out because I know he's going to say no or make me feel bad for even suggesting it. When we do hang out, which does not happen often, he sleeps the whole time. One of our biggest fights was because I accused him of not wanting to spend time with me. He said that it was because he gets bored since we do the same thing every time we hang out. Alright, motherfucker, I don't know you, right? But come on, dude. Really, you gonna say that is her fault because you're a boring ass bitch? God damn. I explained to him that I would love to do other stuff, but he's always too tired and I did not want to force him to go out. I even looked up and suggested a bunch of activities and he just disregards it. With that being said, he's never too tired to hang out with his friends. There you go. The friends start showing up. That's what I was waiting for. He will stay up until 3 in the morning drinking and getting high with them. This ends up with him being too tired and too sick to hang out with me. Look, if someone really fucks with you and someone really likes you, they will take time out of their schedule or day to hang out with you and spend time with you. There's no such thing as I'm too tired to hang out with you because I was just getting fucked up with my friends and getting high with my friends. Fucking bullshit. That does not make sense. This guy clearly doesn't give a fuck and he doesn't want to spend time with you. So I'm just going to skip this whole thing because there is a lot and she goes really in depth into this whole thing. But all she's just doing is kind of shitting on the guy because the guy is a piece of shit. So I don't need to read this to know that. So we're going to go to the last thing. Oh, this is actually very important. Let me read this one. His depression is the main reason why I don't want to break up with him. I love him and I don't want anything bad to happen. I am also depressed, but he is never really there for me. When he's having a bad day, I offer to bring him food, lay with him, and just be there for him. When I'm having a bad day, he asks if I'm okay, and then ignores me while he games. Damn. That's horrible. So at the end, she's asking, what do I do? Do I stay with him and help him? Do you know why he will be acting like this? Well, that's really easy. That's really easy. You gotta leave. You gotta leave this guy, whoever it is. You're young. You should not be there in a relationship where you get treated like shit constantly. No matter who it is, if the guy has depression and you see that as an excuse to not leave him, then you need to kind of get a hold of yourself and realize that you're not his mom. You're not his caretaker. Yes, you are the girlfriend, but at the same time, that title does not mean a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? That title is kind of meaningless. You give the title of girlfriend. You're the one that gives it mean depending on how good the relationship is. If the relationship is kind of shitty like it is, I don't think that means a whole lot. And it clearly doesn't mean a whole lot for him because he's he seems to be okay. Nothing's facing him. You were crying right next to him. He was saying nothing, just being very indifferent. That's the sign of a man that has stopped caring, you know. So just because he has depression or whatever mental illness he has, it's not an excuse to not leave, okay? He should be able to take care of himself, you know. You should not have to be there to be his savior. He don't want to be saved, all right? Like, it's like that song, hoes don't want to be saved. Well, he don't want to be saved, all right? Like, this guy is gone. He's long gone. What you got to do is leave. Pack your shit, and then you go. It's easy as that. But I do understand that sometimes when you love someone, for whatever reason, leaving is very tough. It becomes very tough to leave that situation because you tend to hold on to what made the relationship good at the beginning. Has happened to me before. You think to yourself, I can change this person. This person needs me in order for them to be better and to have a good life. But the sad reality is that change starts within. You cannot force anyone to change if they don't want to change themselves. You know what I'm saying? We all been there. I feel like that's the thing that everyone learns at one point in their life where you're in a situation that is terrible, but you want to go back to when it was good. This happens a lot in like early relationships, and I can tell. You're young. He's young as well. You guys are figuring things out, but it's just the love. You're infatuated by a person that when shit gets bad, you don't want to leave that person because then you feel like you fail. You feel as if you didn't do enough. Like you could have saved the relationship if only you tried harder. But sometimes it doesn't work like that. It needs to be a 50-50 type deal. Cannot be like 99-1. No. And that seems to be the problem in this relationship where right now you're driving to him, giving him food, supporting him when he has his bad days, which seems to be a lot of times. And when you have a bad day and you need him, he's nowhere to be found. So then, how does it work? How do you feel the love in that? You are giving him the love, but he's not giving the love back. But you keep holding on to these memories of when you guys first met. Those 7 months that you said he was good. They probably were the best times. That's that honeymoon phase. I talked about that in a few of my episodes back about the honeymoon phase and how long it lasts. Usually it lasts for a year. But for this motherfucker, it lasted 7 months. So it depends from man to man. So it's crazy to think that when you're in a relationship with someone, they can just switch like that. That's kind of strange to me. It's always been where you don't, but to be honest, it's kind of crazy because it's not that the person switched. It feels like they did, but the person has always been like that. They just didn't show you their true self yet. It's like, oh shit, they were always like this, but I never noticed, or I didn't care to notice, because you see some red flags from the beginning, and sometimes you tend to ignore those red flags. You can live with these red flags until you can't anymore. That's kind of what happened to you, where this guy just became kind of distant. Why he became distant? What happened, Then you start blaming yourself. Is something I did? And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people in a relationship, they like to blame themselves. Kind of like how you're doing in the Reddit, where you're saying, what do I do? I love him. I feel like it's my fault. But in reality, it was never your fault. It was always the other person. You know, you're not the one that needs to take the blame. Is the fucking asshole that's doing it to you. You know? So my advice in all of this, I personally, what I would do is, if you really want to say, again, every relationship is different. The way that I am, at least in relationships, is I like to fight for them. I don't like to give up that easily. You always want to have that good talk. There's always a good talk. You know, I like to say the good talk is when you really sit down with the person and you put all the cards on the table. You know, you're transparent. You tell them everything, how you feel, what is happening, and you also got to let them know that you might leave. If this behavior does not get any better, you will leave, right? I feel like this kind of talk shows you and gives you a lot of information about what the other person is. If they don't really give a fuck and they're just willing to just break up, then hey, fuck it. It was never there, you know? That was not the one. But if they're willing to fight and they're willing to change, and you can see that change, but not just for a few days, but actually constant change, then you can tell, like, okay, maybe this is what they needed. They needed that wake up call, as I like to call it. You know, so for this situation, I would do that. I would have that one talk with him. If you'd really truly love this person, which I don't understand why, he seems like a fucking asshole. But hey, here in the 20 Rock podcast, we don't judge, but take everything I say with a grain of salt. You know, my word is not law. So I would kind of do that and see what happens. You know, I wish you a lot of luck. I feel like the situation that sucks. She also mentions that she suffers from depression. So that's also something that's not good. I mean, people can live with it, but it makes definitely makes situations harder than what it should be, you know. And two people having depression at the same time seems like a lot, you know. So I wish you the best. Whoever, what's this username? I forget. I'm not gonna put their usernames out there. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. But whoever it is, good luck to you. You know, and everyone out there listening, you know, just get out of these bad relationships as fast as you can, especially if you're young. You know, if you're young, you have your whole life ahead of you. You don't need to be treated bad, you know. You don't deserve that, whoever you are, whoever's out there listening. You deserve better all the time. And you deserve someone that treats you good, treats you with love and affection, and actually makes you feel good. Not someone that makes you feel like whatever you're doing is wrong, even when all you're doing is just asking to hang out. You know, that's a very bad feeling. I will not wish that upon anyone. So, very much good luck to you. Like I said, we have a long episode today. That's only the first one. We got 2 more to go, guys. We got 2 more to go. Let me check my show notes over here. Yeah, I got show notes. You know, I gotta keep it organized today. All right, this one's a good one. But you know what? It's time for that hydration. Let me get a swig of this water again. Some ASMR for you guys. That was good. Now, talking just fucking makes your mouth dry. Like, fuck. But I love doing this shit, so. Alright, so. The second one we got comes from the Reddit. Subreddit. Am I the asshole? Ooh, this might be a good one. See, I wish LJ was here because he would have loved these ones. He loves being an asshole. So, I think everyone can relate to this one again. I'm going to read this one to you. The whole thing. It's not long. Am I the asshole for telling my friend the reason nobody wants to hang out with him? Yeah. So I have a friend who we'll call John. So, hypothetically speaking, his name is John. But we all know a John. Okay? We all have a John. So, hear this shit out. John and I have been friends for a while, and I'm the only one he hangs out with on a regular basis. So they're the only 2 guys that hang out. You know, John just doesn't have fucking no one, apparently. Currently, we're on vacation together, and I was going to make myself some food when he flipped the fuck out. He told me that I'm not allowed to make food because he was about to cook dinner, and that if I made food now, he wouldn't give me any of the dinner he made. So John was mad because he wanted his friend to eat his food, not his own food. Okay. He also berated me for being vegetarian and that it's my fault that I don't like the food he's making because it has meat in it. What the fuck, John? Get your shit together. I told him, this is the exact reason nobody wants to hang out with you. You try to control everybody's lives and makes them do what you want. Clearly, he wasn't happy with with what I said, but I think that he needs to realize that nobody likes to be told what they have to do, and nobody likes someone to micromanage them. So, was I right to say that, or did I take it too far? So, the point of this subreddit is that people kind of submit their stories, and then you tell them if they're being an asshole or not. And in this story, John's being a fucking asshole, not you. You know, I mean, he seems like a dickhead right out of the bat. And also, he likes to control every aspect of everyone's life. You know, is the type of person that's a control freak that just wants everyone to just follow him and do what he wants. You know, we have people like that in our life. Everyone has a friend, that one friend, you know, that no one really likes, but we still hang out with him. You know, just because we kind of feel bad. You know, like these people that are assholes, they still need friends. We still need to support them. Right? So, I mean, fuck, you did good. I think you did amazing. What I think, a lot more people should be honest with their friends. You know what I'm saying? I think people should be a little bit more blunt and honest about shit. You know, I feel like we live in a world where people don't want to hear what's wrong with them or don't want to take responsibility for the shit that they do. They will blame it on someone else before they blame themselves. You know, and that's a trend that I seen a lot happening. You know, growing up, just like I was I'm still am. I'm a very blunt fucking person. I'll tell you how it is. You know, I'll be nice about it. I'm not gonna be a douchebag unless you piss me off. But I'll be nice about it. I feel like there is a little line. I mean, already the line between being honest and being an asshole is very thin. It's a very thin line that you have to thread carefully, you know, because you don't want to be known as the guy that's just an asshole because you're blunt with everyone. I don't agree with that. I don't think you should be blunt with everyone that you come across. Okay, not everyone wants to hear every day how shitty they are. Okay, that's not a thing. That would affect me. If I have a friend that every single day they tell me that what I'm doing is wrong and this and they're being too honest, I'm gonna drop them. I'm gonna drop that ass. Like fuck that. I'm gonna drop you like a hot potato right away. I don't want to hear that shit every day. All right, let me figure it out. You know, sometimes I might need a little bit of guidance, but other times I'm gonna figure this out by myself. I feel like I should do it. I'm a human being. I'm a person. I should be able to figure this out on my own. But being a little honest, it helps. It keeps people in check. That's what I like about being honest and blunt with people. It keeps them on their toes, you know? It's like a fight, you know? You ever done boxing before? You know, you hit them with a little jab, you know? You don't want to knock them out with a jab. You just want to keep them in check. That's kind of what you do when you tell them, hey, you're doing something that is kind of an asshole thing to do and you should stop it. Because even though I might tolerate that, there's someone out there that will not fucking tolerate that shit. And it has happened many times because I'm the type of guy that I don't take shit from anybody. You know, I don't like to be quiet about stuff that I can solve using my words. You know, like for example, let's say you go to like a restaurant with your girl, your boyfriend, you know, whatever, right? And they bring you the wrong order. So some people, what would do is they don't want to be a bother, so they would just eat whatever meal they have in front of them. Even if it's wrong, even if it's not what they order, just because they did not want to be confrontational and they did not want to upset the waiter for clearly, you know, making a mistake, right? I know people like that. We all know people like that. That behavior is stupid. If you do that, stop. When you see something like that, speak up. You have a voice, you have a word. You gotta do what you gotta do. If I order lasagna and you're bringing me duck, fuck your duck. I want the lasagna. Again, I'm not gonna be mean to the waiter. You just gotta learn how to be about. You gotta finesse it. You gotta be kind of charismatic a little bit. You can't just be blunt. You gotta be confident. You gotta be like, hey, come here, bro. You fucked up my order. What's this? I ordered the lasagna. You're giving me a duck. Change this shit. And to be honest, the waiter's just gonna be like, oh my god, my bad. I will change it right away. Because most of the time, we like to think for others. We like to think that others will be upset by our behavior of when we are gonna say something. When in reality, they are not gonna be upset. They are gonna acknowledge their mistake and fix it. A lot of people don't like doing that. They don't like talking because they think it's gonna bother and upset people, when in reality it's not really upsetting anyone. All it's doing is you're speaking for yourself. You're letting the other person know that they fucked up, which they will want to know anyway. Even let's say in this example, the waiter example, he will like to know, because what's worse, that at the end of the night when he gets the check, you already left, you tipped the waiter, you didn't give him anything because he gave you the wrong meal, but he didn't know because you didn't speak up. So now he's fucked because he made you upset, but you kind of didn't say anything, but you still punish him for it. That type of behavior does not make sense at all. So sometimes in life you have to speak up. You have to have a voice. You have one for a reason. Don't ever take shit from anyone. Just like this guy from Reddit. He was tired. All he wanted was to make his own food. And his friend flipped the fuck out for no reason. What do you do with people like that? You check them. That's what you gotta do. You check your friends. Even if they're the fucking assholes, you gotta let them know, yo, you're being a dickhead. Stop it. Stop it right now. Because if it's not me, it's gonna be somebody else. So if you see the asshole, I'll leave it up to you. The people in the audience, whoever's listening. Personally, you know how I feel. He was not an asshole. He was just doing what he needed to do. There's not a lot of things you can do in that situation to make it pretty. You're not going to go up to him and softly give him a kiss in the neck and be like, hey, I think you're being a dude. Like, no. You got to let them know. You got to get that anger out of you. That's the only way they'll know that they've been fucking up. Can't sugarcoat this shit. Like, if you're going to be blunt and you're going to be honest, you have to understand that you're going to piss off a lot of people. That's just the nature of it, of people that are like that. You're just going to do it. You might even lose some fucking friends. But to be honest, are they even worth it? If they don't want to listen to the reality and they don't want to listen to your honesty, that's just my 2 cents in the matter. I just feel like that's just how most people should be, Again, there are levels to this shit, Can't be an asshole. But you can be nice about it and still speak up. So I'll encourage everyone to learn how to speak up, Use the voice that you have for good and to do good in the world. Not just to check your friends. Anyone can be a fucking asshole. But maybe use that voice to help someone in need. If you see something you don't like, speak up about it. Because it goes both ways. It works in different ways. You can either tell someone that they're being bad, or you can speak up about injustices that you feel are not being addressed. And that's what I feel has been happening a lot, with all the movements and stuff and people actually speaking up for what they want. That's kind of cool. That's kind of tight because, you don't see that in like a few years. You didn't see that shit. you know. But now everyone, even people that are way younger, have a voice and they know how to use it. Also, social media too is kind of crazy if you really think about it. Like social media has changed the game in a way that it just gives everyone a voice. But it also has a bad thing that it gives everyone a voice. And what I mean is it gives fucking idiots a voice. So it's like a double-edged sword that you got to be real careful. It can work for good and it can work for the bad thing. See, when you study a lot of this, see, I go to college, right? And I kind of study this shit a lot because they have you make these like essays and like projects where you gotta, find news, find the use of social media and how it has affected the life of Americans and teenagers. And so you kind of just start fucking writing constantly about the cons and the pros of social media, that to a point it's just in your brain now, like it's, you just know it already, that even though it's good, there's also bad things to it. Like people doing wild shit on social media, posting it, goes viral, and then there you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, social media has given power to every single person with a phone and data, or a Wi-Fi. Like it's kind of wild to think about that. Like, I think about that shit every day. I'll be scrolling through Instagram and I see just like some wild ass memes and shit, and I'm like, my goodness, I love social media. Oh my god. I told you it was gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. How about we do one more? I have one more for you guys. Maybe even a fourth one too. Who knows? I'm having a blast with this. I'm just saying. This is actually pretty good. So this one comes from, let me check my show notes again. I gotta keep organized. Alright. I'm actually gonna save this one for later. I'm gonna save this one for later as well. But I got another one. I got another one for you guys, right? Ooh, this was pretty good. So this one says, how do I make small talk? What's all that about? Let's check this out. Hey guys, I need some help. I am very comfortable talking about things that I'm interested in, but a majority of the people I run into don't share any of my interests. I think it's a common problem. Not everyone likes what you like, and you meet a lot of people that just, they don't fuck with the shit you do, and I think you gotta be okay with that sometimes, that not everyone that you meet is gonna like the same shit you like, and you can't really be mad at them for not liking the same shit. Like, that's kind of like wild to think about, that some people do get upset. Like, fuck those people. Let's see. It's a little easier with men since I'm into quite a few male dominated hobbies like gaming, works of fantasy, and making music. I am also into hiking and yoga, but I don't really know how to talk about them. Yo, talk to me. Talk to me. I was just talking about hiking and yoga in the beginning of the episode. Yo, hit me up, wherever you are. We'll talk about yoga. But I don't really know how to talk about them. Best I can come up with is, what's the tallest peak you climb? Yo, that tallest peak was in 4th grade, my man. Come on, that was the peak. That was the peak right there. Yo, I had this dinosaur book. I would take it to school. Everyone wanted to read that joint. Everyone was like, you gotta show me the Stegosaurus again. I got you. Page 12. I didn't get no bitches that day. Or, how long have you been practicing yoga? Okay, that's I kind of hear that too, not gonna lie. I hear that a lot because I also do. I started doing yoga like at the end, not the end. It was like I think at the end of like when COVID shit was kind of settling before the vaccine. I started doing a lot of like yoga stuff just to, like, I don't know, try something new. Because I like working out, but I always feel like yoga always gets a bad rep. Like, it's always something that's more like a women thing to do. It's like, oh, it's girly. Oh, I'm going to go to yoga with the girlfriends. But in reality, it's not. Like, yoga is tight. Like, anyone that's listening, like, try it. It's really easy to do. It's also, like, one of those exercises that you can include in at the beginning of your workout, but also at the end, too. Because there's a thing called power yoga, which is just like a workout. Like it makes you sweat. Like it's crazy how it is. It's just a bunch of calisthenics. Like that shit is insane. You can have a whole workout, but also just becoming more flexible and like working on your joints and all your and all your shit. Like oh my god, it's great. So highly encourage everyone to do it. I have a segment of that maybe next episode. Talk about like workouts and stuff. I really like this stuff. I'm not like a gym rat or anything like that, but I really like that stuff. You know, keeping yourself healthy is important. You know, you gotta keep the mind healthy, but also the physical healthy too. So, all right. He says, but a majority of women I talk to aren't into either of those. The most common responses I get to, "What do you do for fun?" are going out, watching Netflix, shopping, sorry, and traveling. I'll be honest, not gonna lie, some women out there, not all, some, just some, they be kind of boring. Not gonna lie, I'll be honest with you. Most women out there just don't do a lot of interesting things. Like shopping is fine, you know. Like if you like shopping, you know, I like shopping too. I go to groceries, like you know, I go to shoe shop, you know, I shop for bananas. Does that mean I like shopping? No, like I don't enjoy that shit. I have to do it, but it's like shopping for me has always been a weird hobby. You know, it's like oh, so you like spending money every chance you get, like that. That to me is like wild. You know, that to me is wild. Like shopping as like a hobby. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's like a very girl thing, but at the same time, I don't want to like put labels on anyone because I know some guys that like fucking drop like money on like jewelry and shoes, mainly shoes, you know. So it's like that's a whole nother conversation we need to have, man. Like, come on. But yeah, some women just are not that interesting, to be honest. You'll find that a lot when you go out, especially like in college. So you find like these hot girls, these hot you know hot girl summer shit type bitches. They be the most boring people in the world. Like they don't gotta try, right? They don't gotta be interesting because their looks is what carries them. There's no personality there. There's not no charm, no nothing. It's just I'm a pretty face. Again, not everyone, but hell, that's a lot of people I know. So again, if the shoe, if it don't apply, let it fly. If the shoe fits, then fuck you. So you know this already. All right. So he says, I don't know 95% of the show on the shows on Netflix. So I ask her about her favorite chances. Okay, so he's saying he doesn't really watch Netflix, so he doesn't really know how to approach someone that says that they like Netflix. Okay. Um so apparently same thing with travel. What's the craziest place you visited? And he has zero idea how to talk about going out or shopping. He says, I don't need to have an interesting comment with the person I'm talking to. If they are into something I never heard of, I'll gladly learn about it. The issue is that most people don't want to ramble about something they love to someone they just met. So, how do I talk to people who share nothing in common with me? Okay, so I think you're approaching this the wrong way, my man, right? Because small talk, like this, is how I see small talk, right? Small talk only is like I never see small talk in like a setting where you're actually trying to pick up women, because the whole point of that is to kind of get to know them a little bit more, not entirely, you know. You want to set it up. You want to set up like the date, not the date. It's more like let's have coffee. That's where you kind of get the opportunity to know them, you know. So the small talk, let me get this water. Shit, I've been talking for too long. Give me a second, guys. Much better. All right. So yeah, small talk, right? It's more like you want to get to know the basics. You don't want to get too deep in this shit, because you'll get deep into it like when the coffee day comes, you know. Because I don't even know if people do that shit. If people go out to coffee, I feel like most people just want to have like a big dinner and like a date. I'm like, yo, that's too early. Like I don't even know you, you know. It's like I'm gonna save my money. Let's go to Starbucks and some shit, you know. Let me get you some of that. But what you're talking about, like finding, like talking to someone that you don't share anything in common, what I would do is just keep asking questions until you find something that you might know about. You know what I'm saying? Like with these females that you've been saying that, all they talk is about shopping or traveling. I mean, you can kind of go out. You can be like, hey, so what you shop for? What's your favorite store and whatever. You might have an idea of what these stores are, and even if you don't, you might want to ask, what do they buy? What are their favorite stores? Because you gotta realize that depending on what they give you, you have to work with that shit. You know, you have to make it work somehow. If you're trying to pick up chicks, I guess that's what you're doing with the small talk, is trying to pick up women. Uh, what you would do is you gotta do like this. Is what I do, right? This is what I do. Let me put it to you this way, right? When I just say I talk to someone about small talk, I wanna grab something that it's interesting about them and then run with it, and just keep asking them about it, and I let them carry the conversation, you know. Because with people that you don't share any interest in or anything at all, like let's say you are into gaming and they don't know anything about gaming, right? Just drop the gaming and just try to find something that you can kind of relate, where you guys can have a good conversation about. Let's say maybe she's not into gaming, but you are. All right, drop that. Now let's go the yoga thing. Let's go back with the yoga. Let's say you say, oh, on Fridays I do this yoga at this place, and then she'll be like, oh my god, you do yoga? I've been trying to get into yoga as well. And then there you go, you got it, right? So you can be like, yeah, yoga is pretty fun. Like you should definitely try it. There's like so many things. There you go, right? You have a conversation going. Because the point is to keep a nice flow. You want a nice flow in the conversation. And then the small talk would turn into like not small talk anymore. It would probably turn into like, I guess, the big talk, we're going to say. Yeah, the big talk. There you go. The big talk. But that goes with anything, not just picking up women. That goes with just making friends. Let's say you just make friends. You have no interest in being romantically involved with anyone. You just want to make friends. It's the same process. Starts with small talk, then it gradually turns into the big talk, and then you hit it off, and now you have a conversation going. Because I think the whole point of a small talk is that you want to get out of that small talk situation and turn it into something that you can actually talk the whole night. Doesn't really happen very often, not gonna lie. Like some people are just boring as fuck and they just have nothing to say. Like their personality is just like a piece of rock. The fucking, like, they have nothing going on. Say, oh, what you do? Oh, I just watch movies. I'm like, oh, what type of movies? And then just like that, like bro, like come on, like live it up a little bit. Like let me know what you like about these movies. Who is this? Who's that? Like I want to know this shit, right? Like I don't just want you to give me the one word answers and that's it. Like I don't fuck with that. Like stop. Like don't do that. So there are times where you will win some and then you will lose some. You can't just have a conversation with everyone, sadly. That's just how I see it. Some people are not gonna give you the material for you to work with. They just, or maybe some people ain't fucking with you like that. They just not that interested. So they kind of they want you to go, but they don't want to tell you to go. You know what I'm saying? Again, it goes back to what we're talking about. Some people need to be more honest. You could save so much, like women. You gotta learn how to speak up. If a guy's not interested and you want him to go away, you kind of have to tell him to go away. You can't just insinuate like, hey, I want you to leave and just giving these one word answers, because we are dumb. Remember, we are stupid. We men are dumb. And sometimes we do not get the hint that you want us to go away. And there we are. We just keep talking to you about fucking hiking and yoga and all this shit that you don't really care about, because you're not interested in us to begin with. So now we're just wasting our time there, just trying to like impress you or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's funny because I've never ran into a situation of the small talk, like not like that, like how he's describing, where he runs out of things to talk about or he can't really find anything in common to talk about. Because I always feel like you need to be like a jack of all trades. You know what I'm saying? And let me explain. It's more of like, you don't need to know everything, but you need to have some basic knowledge of some stuff. You know, just so you can talk about it with different people, and then if they know more, they can teach you a few things. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you like an example, right? This is pretty funny. Makeup, right? So weird. See, I'm a guy. I don't wear makeup, right? Of course, but I was with someone, an ex, that she was huge into makeup. Her whole thing was just makeup, correct? Now, I if I was a different person, I wouldn't give a fuck about that. Makeup is for women, which is not, but when for her it is. So I will not touch that world. I will stay away from that world. But in my head, I was like, you know what? I could learn a little bit about makeup. Would I ever use makeup? Well, not really. I would never go out and buy it, or use it. But I want to know about this shit. To me, it's interesting. Like, makeup is kind of crazy. It's like real life Photoshop. That's what I will describe makeups. It is wild. Like, you can turn like something into something else, right? Like, just by blending some fucking things, like some powders and some pixie dust and shit. You know, like, it's crazy. And women that like and men that do their makeup and they fucking do it beautifully and amazingly. Like, that's a talent. Like, I respect that shit. Like, I'm sorry, but I will never be able to do that. So whoever does like good makeup and took the time to learn it and stuff, mad props to you. That shit is very impressive. But going back, right? So I decided to ask my ex, like, hey, what is this? What are you applying? What is this? And then she was teaching me something. She was like, oh, this is like bronzer. This is like contour, they call it. This is like, eyeshadow and whatever the fuck. And then you have like eyeliner. And then you have like a face mist that what it does is like it prevents like the makeup from cracking, because that's a thing, like makeup cracks. I didn't know that, but like that's fucking interesting as fuck, that you gotta be careful with the makeup just in case. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then then we will go out, and then she will see like Sephora or like Mac, like the store, not the Mac like Apple, but like the Mac, like that's like the lipstick brand. And we will go in, and then she will be like teaching me all these different like brands, because the whole thing, like, makeup is kind of fucking crazy, right? Because like there's so many different brands and so many different just things happening at once. Like, everyone's doing the same thing. You have like the Naked palette, you have like the Urban Decay or whatever the fuck, right? And all of these kind of do the same thing, but not really. And then you have like the fucking like Rihanna shit, and it's just because it has the name in it, like you want to buy it, but does it really work like this one? Like, being a girl, I feel like that shit is tough. That shit is crazy tough. Imagine dealing with, you go into like a Sephora, or you go into like a what's the other joint? What's the other store? I know Sephora is pretty popular, but there's other ones. But you just going in there and you see this whole world. Like, if you're young and you see this whole world of just makeup, like that shit like blows your mind, right? But like, I didn't have to learn that shit, right? But I wanted to. So I'm confidently enough that if I go and walk up to like a girl and I compliment her makeup, I could have like a chat with her about makeup. Like, I could be like, "Yo, what is that? What are you using? What's that eyeshadow you using?" Right? Like, just the fact that you know what eyeshadow is, like that already, that's like a win. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they think you're gay. But if you have the right, like, if you have the right person, not the right personality, but if you carrying yourself in a different way, they'll be like, "Oh man, this guy is not really like gay at all. Like he actually knows his shit, right?" So like, it could go both ways, or just something that you can do is just go online and just learn about some shit. That's what I do most of the time when I'm bored. I just be online, just learning shit that I will never use. Like was one thing that I was like checking not too long ago, that it was like pretty dumb. It was like, oh yeah, I was like, how to take care of like a pet lizard. You know, I'm never gonna buy a pet lizard, bro. Like, like fuck that. Like, I like lizards, but I don't think that's a good pet. Like, I'm gonna stick with dogs, and that's it, because I like dogs. But like a lizard, bro, like I'm never gonna fucking get a lizard. But why am I searching this shit? I don't know. It's just something that I wanted to know. So I feel like you should apply that to your daily routine of learning not going in depth into everything, but kind of learning many things that you would not even be interested in, or maybe you will not ever do, like skydiving. I don't know. Maybe you want to learn how what goes into skydiving or something, or maybe you do want to do. I don't know. There's so many things that you can apply, and because of this information that you're getting more knowledgeable about certain things that other people be are really into, right? So then you go to the club, you go to the bar, you go to a bunch of friends, and then they mention something, right? Oh, they mention skydiving. Oh shit, they have a pet lizard. Oh my god, there you go. Now you know a few things, and you can kind of tell them your experience. Like, yeah, I was reading about like getting a pet lizard and like this and the other, and there you go. And then you're striking a conversation with them in which you're not still in common grounds, but you're getting there. You're getting there in the common grounds, but you're kind of slowly getting into a rhythm where it's like an actual conversation, and if you feel the flow, because you ever been in a conversation where shit is not going well, like you're bombing, like there's just a lot of like pauses, it's silent, like those would be the worst. Those are the worst ones. I don't know how people deal with that, but my God, that is horrible. At that point, you just kind of say like goodbye, and then you just fucking leave. At that point, you don't want to deal with that shit no more. But like, I think for small talk that works for me. Just find things that eventually you'll connect, but you don't have to connect deeply on them. It can be on a surface level thing that eventually would turn into a big talk, like we said. Like an actual conversation. So for me, I feel like that works pretty well. But again, take my word with a grain of salt, like I always said. For the last Reddit, this is actually a good one. I actually like this one because I want to share this one with you guys. I was gonna do that before the one I just told you about, but I don't know. I feel like we've been talking about too many depressive things, and I don't want to keep it that way. How about we end the show, the episode, with a little, good news. Everyone likes good news, right? Something inspirational, something that encourages you, something lighthearted. So this one comes from the Reddit Mental Health. Real good Reddit, by the way. You guys should follow that one. Fat and depressed to fit and happy. All right. Not sure why I'm writing this. I used to spend a lot of time on Reddit feeding my OCD, anxiety, and depression. I started my journey 6 months ago. I used to self-medicate with alcohol to the amount of 3-4 bottles of wine a day. I also used to be a food addict who weighed over 220 pounds. The depression and anxiety were so severe, I was having trouble fighting through the fog and couldn't leave the house. Damn. Yeah, sometimes it be like that. You fighting your demons. You fighting your demons, bro. Since December, I lost 65 pounds, cut out booze, no sweets, no greasy food, no sodas, and no coffee. What's wrong with coffee, man? I love coffee. All right. I don't like you no more. I slowly work back the occasional wine to be fully transparent. I have not missed a day of running 3.5 miles. And not every day is perfect, but I consider myself free of mental illness thanks to diet changes and meditation. You might not believe me, but you can do it too. Exercise and meditation is a cure. If you don't believe me, give it a try. This is wholesome. I actually like this. I like ending the episode on this one because I always say this, right? Now, bear with me, but I don't suffer from depression or any of the mental illnesses, but I feel like that has been a trend in in recent years where you come across many people that have depression and anxiety, But it's always crazy that you meet them in such a huge amount of them. Like just everyone has it, right? And I just feel like the people that has it in some circumstances, not all, because some of them actually do have huge like mental illnesses and things that have been going on in their life. But I'm talking about just in a general way, where these always are the most unhealthy ass motherfuckers that you ever meet. Like, not working out, either they're lazy, they just have a shitty ass diet. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people where they want to blame it all on like their depression or anxiety for the way that they're behaving in life. And I always say to myself that sometimes you got to change what you do. You know, you have to change your behavior. Just like this guy, you know, he was getting drunk all the time. He was just doing all this shit all the time. And then he started working out. He started to meditate. He changed his diet, and now he's not depressed. Now he's not anxiety. Now, did he actually have depression? I don't know. That's kind of funny to to think about. Did he actually have depression? Who knows? But he would drink a lot, like, and I feel like a lot of people do that. They just be drinking because they just want to escape reality, and that's very common. But if only you change here a little bit and just what you do every day. Again, he started running, he started changing his diet, he started meditating. Meditating is pretty good. I haven't been into meditating a lot because I find it really difficult to do. It's probably because I haven't had the right coach to meditate. So I don't really do it because I don't know how to do it that well. And some of like online like YouTube videos are kind of shitty with that, so they don't really help that much. But again, meditating, that shit works, and I feel like it's like sometimes it's all in your head. Like sometimes you just feel that way because of the things that you do in life. If you don't eat very well, like of course you're just gonna feel shitty all the time. You're gonna feel like you have no energy. You're just gonna feel like, damn, like I just a lazy piece of shit. And you gotta get out of that, and only you can get out of that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think this last one, this last Reddit, it's real nice, very inspiring, very encouraging. Where it's like, hey, you can do it too. You just had to put a little bit of effort. You got to put a little bit of like time to get out and do something that will make you happy. You have to break these walls. It's not all just like medication. I always say that this is kind of crazy that some people will pick medication over taking care of themselves. you know and to me that's crazy, because like most of these medications sometimes they just end up making things worse. They just make you feel shitty. Sometimes they do help. I'm not gonna lie, I know people that it actually helped them to the medication. When they're off the medication, they are not able to function, but when they get back into it, they are able to function. But of course, it like this whole thing with like depression and anxiety is so strange because there's so many studies, but at the same time everyone is so different. It affects everyone different. Some people, like this guy, he was able to get out of it by just doing some simple thing that has been known to prolong your life: eating well, exercising, and meditating, or all that stuff. Like if you do that on a regular basis, like you're gonna probably be a healthy human being. you know but for some people it's not that easy. And I acknowledge that the fact that with some people, exercising and eating well ain't gonna cut it. They still might have anxiety, they still might have depression, they still might want to kill themselves. Like that shit is not something to take lightly, right? And even though I appreciate this, because a lot of people should hear this, that this is a encouraging story where it's like this guy mm, decided to get out of it by himself, not relying on any medication, is powerful. Because it might affect a lot of people. It might not affect you. Let's say you have some sort of anxiety and depression. Maybe this Reddit is not for you, but it is for a lot of people out there. You just gotta find what works for you. What would help you not be depressed and have anxiety. Like I met someone that, for her, like um being busy, just being busy, not exactly working out. She did work out, but not exactly working out helped the depression. It was more just staying busy so you don't think about it. Just doing good stuff, not just busy to do like nothing, like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the mall and walk around. Like, no, actually doing stuff, like either working on herself, like working just in general in her career, reading, maybe just educating herself, like stuff like that, right? Just being busy helped her out. And that's crazy because I feel like we have to put more emphasis on doing other things to help depression and anxiety that doesn't have to rely on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things that can help people that we don't know, but the first thing that we sometimes do is just rely on like the drugs. Like here, just take this. Just take like Zoloft. Like fuck it. Just go on Zoloft. It might help your depression. Uh, see me back in like a few months. You know, and that's like crazy to think that people actually be on that stuff, and it might even make it worse. And that's sad to think about. You know, sometimes I think about that, and I feel kind of lucky that I don't have anything like that. Like I always been a person that just sees things very differently, and like you feel sad. You feel like you have the blues sometimes, but it's never something that like for me that it prolongs for like a week, like how depression does. I never feel like I never want to get out of bed. Like fuck it, like I'm not gonna never. And I feel like that's a good thing, but it's also like a bad thing because I can never really fully um empathize with people that go through it. I To them, I'm not very helpful to them. And by that what I mean, it's like they see me and they're like, "Oh, he doesn't understand what I'm going through and he never will. So I'm just going to discard him." When in reality, maybe that energy that I bring could be something that helps you get out of it. Maybe that's what you need. You don't want someone that's just as depressed as you, like too depressed. Like in the story that in the first in the first Reddit that I read, both of them were depressed, right? She will do everything for him. He will never do anything for her. It's like I feel like having two depressed people just doesn't work. Two negatives, even though in math they make a positive, in real life they don't. You know, just because you two are always depressed is not doesn't mean it's gonna be good. Someone has to be the one to get out of it, and bring the other along and be like, hey, let's not be this way. Let's actually be with each other and support each other so we can be better about this. Because you can always be better about stuff like that. So I really really like this guy's story, that what he did. I feel like a lot of people should take some notes about that, and really look at yourself and be like, I'm gonna try to again be better with that stuff. But for now, everyone, we have run out of time. So again, I thank you all so much for listening to this episode. And remember, if you enjoy the show and you want to support it, go follow us on Spotify, go follow our Instagram, go follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/20rock productions. Also, we are on anchor.fm. We're on Apple Podcasts as well. And if you're listening there, rate us 5 star. Again, that always helps. And if you're watching the video, again, give us a like, comment if you like. But always make sure to subscribe to support the show, because we'll be more episodes. Not every time it's going to be just me. This time was a special occasion until I find LJ. He's been missing, so I'll be on the lookout for him. But next time, hopefully I get him back. And if not, it's going to be me again. And I'm going to bring you guys more Reddits to so we can all have a fun time. Just share with me. Just have a chill day, night, morning, evening, whatever time you're listening to this episode. So like I said, thank you all so much for listening and also watching. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Peace.